Hey, I'm Ethan Peterson. I'm taking a research and development class here at Gold Lake High School, and I wanted to give my first update on where I'm at for my research and development project. So, as you know, I'm making a video game with Will and Alex, and my primary role in making that video game and helping make that video game is to work on the art right now. So, I'm going to be making sprites and run cycles and animations, all that. That's my job. And my first order of business for that was to make a main character, the first design for the character, and then also I wanted to make a run cycle. So I did that. Here's where I'm at right now. I made a total of 9 separate frames for the animation, and then I also copied those 9 frames across the screen so I can make my character run a little bit farther. I'm going to show this to you at 3 frames per second, and it is only 9 frames, so it's going to be a little bit choppy. But here's the first attempt at making the character that I've got right now. He, as you've probably noticed, he doesn't have a face, and he also has circles for hands. So he is lacking some personality, and that's what I'm gonna change for my redesign. And also, I'm gonna make him look just a little bit different so that he can have some more personality and look a little less rounded. But yeah, that's my character, and then here's the run cycle that I got going on. So I think for my first attempt at making a run cycle, it looks pretty decent. He does look like he's going for a jog instead of having like an action-packed run that I did want him to have. That's mostly because I based the animation off of, if you know Alan Becker, he's a famous YouTuber, and he gave me or rather, I took from a video about run cycles, kind of a model he made with 4 separate poses for the character. As I made the run cycle, I did realize, hey, I am missing a few really important poses, like from this position on the left to the position on the right. You can't go straight from there to there. And it made the animation look a little choppy and like he wasn't moving his legs properly. So in my next run cycle for the redesign of the character, he's gonna look a lot better, hopefully. I'm gonna change the way that he runs, and to be more action-packed, he's gonna be hunched over a little bit instead of taking his jog, and then also he's gonna have those keyframes, those key poses that he's lacking right now. Of course, it does look choppy because it's at 3 frames per second, and I made no in-between frames. I just wanted the essentials right now so that I could see where I'm at and what I need to change before I get too involved and go the wrong direction. So that's where I'm at right now. I did color him, so that's his color scheme. It is kind of simplistic, so I'm going to change it up a little bit more. And maybe make the colors a little bit more vibrant, or I don't know. I haven't gotten that far with the redesign process yet, but I'm working over here on the left side. You can see that's my first redesign of the character. He is facing towards the screen, so he's not going to be animatable that way. But I'm just kind of trying to get a feel for what I want the character to ultimately end up looking like. And then I also did learn that this is kind of on a separate note, but I always thought for a 2D video game that because it's 2D, you don't have to show perspective. I looked through a bunch of gameplay for indie games, and I saw that that's actually not true. So for my redesign, I'm going to try to make it so that he's, of course, angled in one direction. His feet are going to be both facing that direction, but also on the right side of him, you can see in the sketch, I'm going to try to make him proportionately larger so that it looks 3D, even though it's a 2D game. So I'm going to fix that with my character and go through a couple redesigns before I make my next run cycle. But then after that, I'll probably give you an update on where I'm at for that and what I've learned along the way. I did want to also cover a boss for the video game that I'm going to be working on. It's called the Swordfish, which is why there's a sword coming out of the mouth of that fish. You might notice that he does look kind of realistic. I'm going to change that. I'm redesigning him as well. I'm redesigning everything. But he does look realistic because I made him based off of a realistic carp photo. And he ended up looking, I mean, he looks decent, but he looks more like a sports logo instead of a video game character. And so I need to make him a little bit more bloated looking, more cartoony for the video game. So so my objectives going forward are going to be making that fish, the swordfish boss, look more cartoony, and then also redesign my main character, my pirate kid, so that he's more animatable and has more personality, so that as I'm making the run cycle, he's able to look proportionally correct, and I'm going to make sure I have those key poses that I was missing in the last one, and he's going to be hunched over, have that action-packed run instead of that light jog that he had going on. And yeah, that's what I got going on for my first research project. I am on the side also working on trying to understand C#, so I'm taking a Udemy class. I'm not going to show my progress right now, but I have completed a couple hours of the tutorial, and I'm working on making like a delivery driver game where you're moving your car around and picking up orders and delivering them, and that way I'm able to learn the fundamentals of Unity, which is what I'm going to be using to create the video game. Me, Alex, and Will, we're all working with Unity so that we can make that instead of Unreal Engine, but I'll get into that another time. So that's where I'm at right now, and I'm really excited going forward to learn more about video game design and making more realistic animations, and I'm really excited for the future. So thank you for taking the time to look at my first update, and I'll see you in the future.